one of the things that we're very pleased about is that we hosted the Carib Soca Monarch workshop, musical workshop, where some of these same contestants and people who just had a talent and wanted to develop it, came in and they met with people like Roy Keefe, Daryl Braxton, and Arturo Tapit. And these are guys who are at the top of their profession in the Caribbean, and we brought them here to help our people with talent gain something, develop themselves. So that's just something that when you come and you be a part of our Soca Monarch, it's just some way that we say, you know what, we're not just gonna end you at the Carib Soca Monarch. We're gonna help you to develop yourself and hopefully represent us at the international level. Again, I'm very happy to see all of you here, and I will hand you over to Mr. Cadogan, who's the marketing director, and he'll just tell you why we are so happy to have the ninth Carib Soca Monarch here again.
Good morning, and thanks for coming out in your numbers. As Darcy would have said, this year we plan to launch our ninth annual Carib Soca Monarch. As I say every year, the reason that Antimacal sponsors Soca Monarch or develops Soca Monarch was that music is the lifeblood of any carnival festival throughout the region. And when we in the formative years of Soca Monarch, the soca genre which drives those festivals in Guyana, the music was not at that level. After sponsoring for a number of years, we recognized that although the impetus was there in terms of the prize money and stuff, some of the music was not improving to the standard that required, because you would still go on the road on March Day, you would still hear a lot of our music. We want Marshimana to be driven by our music. So as Darcy would have said, we brought in some knowledgeable people in the field, in the soca field and music generally, to give a workshop to help the contestants and some of the production people in lifting the standard of music. Now, this was held a couple of months ago, and what you will see in this year compilation is the music markedly improving. We've had some great entries this year, and we would have had 33 entries, which is one of the highest amount of entries we would have ever collected. From that, we've whittled it down to 22. Now, that was a task in itself. We had an in-house panel headed by, help me here? Devon from the Heatwave Band, which will be a backing band. That in itself was a task itself. So first of all, those people that was not selected for the final 22, I must say thank you for sending in your entries and continue striving at improving your art form so that next year you can be part of that final 22 that will move on to the quarterfinals. This year we've instituted the quarterfinal leg held on the 2nd of February at Rose Hall Kanji ground, MSC ground. The semi-final at Rose Hall Kanji and the final on the 16th at the National Park. The prize, well, last year the prize money was $1.5 million, the first prize, but it will not be less than $1.5 million. So by the end of next week, I'll decide whether or not Nigel is behind me to put up a car. So I'll give it some serious thought. So by the end of next week, I'll see if we can scrape some money from somewhere else to ensure that the contestants be vying for a car as the first prize. Without further ado, I'll pass you to the coordinator of Soca Monarch, Nigel, to give you the other general details.
Just 1 minute before we go to Nigel, sorry, I forgot to introduce our very own Heatwave Band, who's always been backing us, and without them, our Carib Soca Monarch cannot be as successful as it is. So thank you, and Nigel, you're always here supporting us.
That is Mr. Anthony Johnson, aka Basie. Arguably Guyana's #1 band, and every year we've contracted over the past 6 years to be a part of this, and it goes without saying that they've been doing an exceptional. The 2013 Carib Soca Monarch, being the 90th, as would have been said before. In 2011, we had a 1-year hiatus and came back last year. 04 the 8 years we've done so far, we've had 6 winners, with Asian Dutchin being 3-time monarch. Last year we had Jomo. We'll be taking 22 contenders to the quarterfinal in Linden on the 2nd of February. 5 will be eliminated in that round. The 17 will be heading to Berbice on the 9th, which is the very next week, where we will be eliminating another 5. The remaining 12, along with the reigning Soca Monarch, Jomo Primo, will be vying for the 1.5 or hopefully a car on the 16th of the national park. The 1.5 side. The 1.5 and
I just thought about the cars too. Remember, we have a joint entrance, and I don't want to hear to have a confusion to split the car in two. So best week, money is easy to split on the car.
okay, see as though we will be working for that 1.5 after all. And talking about a joint entrance, seeing Vanilla and B52 teaming up a duet as opposed to going solo as they've been doing in previous years. So that in itself, I guess, is something to look at. You can field your questions to management, Mr. Birchman Simon in the back, on why that has been so. Having said that, I want to thank all the artists who have made it through, and all those who have actually sent in entries for this year's competition. Let the games begin.
I just want to say one thing. We're the quarterfinal. The last time we had the quarterfinal was
2007.
2007,
So we
but
returned.
because of requests, because of people, showing great to bring it back. So that's something that we hope, if the interest, if it continues, mind you, we will be looking to continue with that as well. So let's see and hope, He'll be coming in
He'll be coming in for the final.
final, because he's the reigning monarch, so he'll be
He gets a bite, he draws a bite to the final.
Yeah, because he already has the title. So go Jomo.
Questions?
Yes, Bishop Mohammed TVG 28 Guyana Times.
Yes, Bish.
It's something that has been in my head since last year, after the Carib Soca Monarch would have been held, and Jomo would have won the title. As you are aware, the International Soca Monarch is on the 10th of February in Trinidad and Tobago. Is there any thoughts of sending a representative, especially the winner? It will be because our finals will be held on the 16th.
All right. What's happened is last year winner is eligible for the International Soca Monarch competition. And that's one of the reasons that we brought in the producers to help with the upliftment design. Although we're eligible for the International Soca Monarch competition, the songs still have to be acceptable through the screening process. Just like we had these 33 people and stuff. What's happened is, from after the initial discussions with those people, they figured that our song is not necessarily an international soca quality song, but it's more of a nationalistic song. So it makes, I didn't hear nor there, but from the tips what we would have picked up from the last seminar, this year's person will be eligible for next year International Soca Monarch. So our dates here wouldn't really play with that. It gives the song enough airtime to play in Trinidad and around the Caribbean so that they get the crowd support on the play. That's what we're looking at from next year.
Great.
Any other question?
Yeah, Javon from Starbuck News. I was wondering how many new participants they have this year in the competition.
12.
12, yeah. That were chosen,
Out of
mind
the
you, from the
22,
33.
there are 12 new entrants.
Of the 20.
Of the 22
That
who
were
actually
chosen.
shortlisted. Of the 22 that were actually shortlisted, 12 are newcomers.
And of the 33, how many were newcomers?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is there still the newcomers prize?
Yes, there is.
Are we getting a list of the
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we get in a press release
the
with
contact
everything.
numbers?
For
You pushing it there?
let me just apologize for not introducing the people in the back who are not necessarily the people in the back. They're going to be the people in the front line from now on. Those are some of the RT/contenders for the 2013 Carib Soca Monarch.
Want to go call their names?
Maybe you can identify yourselves from the right.
Shepherd.
Ernest Nelson.
Venom. In Murphy. Gracie Edmondson.
Shonda London.
Boss Stevens.
Lil Red.
Yolanda Kerr.
Good.
Yolanda.
So these are new faces and they are a part of that new 12. So hopefully they'll be stirring up the potluck so that we see what they bring, and hopefully we're not saying there will be an upset, but you never know. If you come packing, you might give an upset.
And just let me inform you as well, this year there's a Bajan National in the competition. What we've been doing over the past years is just allowing Guyanese to be a part of it. But we think that in order to really have the upliftment that we want and make the upward movement to the music, it really doesn't matter who comes in. Once they have the standard, and that standard that they may bring, we also allow us to raise our standards. There's a Bajan National in the name of Kirk Brown. He's also shortlisted for the quarterfinals.
That's it.
In terms of tickets, have you decided a price yet on the tickets?
I haven't decided that as yet.
But
That's
it's
going to
not-
work out
the
as the event comes
tickets
out.
for usually supermarket is very nominal. It's not like one of these big fancy shows. The prices are very nominal.
And that goes on
Right.
sale. Yeah.
And you could actually get tickets from bars around the place. We're doing promotions with tickets in all the various outlets that we'll be promoting the show. I'm urging Guyanese to come out and support your art form. It's only through support that the genre can grow here. And I personally think that the music is of this time, whereby it can play could get two. As I played mass last year in Ghana, I marched on the entire road, and I actually think that some of the music we have here, the last 4 hours that I was on the road marching. So although last year we had about like six tunes we actually heard. We heard King Shepherd tune, and then we had the rice, tomatoes, somebody celery seasoning story, and a couple of those. So from those, you've seen that the music is actually improving, and we have about like 22 of these here. I think all 22 here. I would be so disappointed with some of the people who have been knocked out after the first period and the second period, because this music is of really good standard. We also have this year we're introducing the People's Choice Award, where the general public can text in to pick the persons that they think is the People's Choice champion. They'll have a separate prize for that. You could also vote on our Facebook Caribbean page. All the music will be uploaded there, and you can go in and you put like on which one. So it's up to the individual artists now to go out and promote themselves and stuff and so on, and get the family to go on the website and do the work in true social networking fashion. It will not only help the show, not only it will help them, and will also help the general soca scene and the mass scene for this season. Not saying we also have a couple of other things that we'll be bringing to you pretty much later, March, that will revolutionize the whole season. Very different from Ghana. I think according to me, using some of I don't want to tease the words, but we like to use it as Carib will turn it up this season.
Carib will be on the road this year, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be on the road, but outside it'll be us being on the road, it'll be different.
We have
Another
stuff.
thing, sorry.
That's alright.
We have a tendency in Guyana, if somebody wins a competition, you hear back about them until the next competition. What Auntie McCall has in store for the winner of this year's competition? Will they be a part of your promotions?
We normally use our winners for promotional purposes around the country. As I like to tell people, Georgetown in Guyana. Now, the reason that you probably might not hear about it is because we could probably carry them to Linden, we carry them to Burbage, we carry them to Madia, and in terms of car promotion, we use these people. So not because you're not hearing them in Georgetown, doesn't mean necessarily not using them. We use all of our brand ambassadors throughout this country. And as I said before, Georgetown is not Guyana.
Just one thing before we go. I'd like to say, and this is coming from asking the contestant, you guys are the ones who are there fighting for the crown. So it's up to you personally to say, ask your community to support you. Because crowd support means a whole lot when you come to the finals. It means a whole lot. Those are the persons who will be vying for you. So you now have to take the onus is on you to ask your supporters to come out and support you. Crowd support, very, very important. So with that, I would like to thank you all for coming. And since there are no more questions, we will close. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Stay right there. I just want to get a